Yo, 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 what's up, studs? Canal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Many things to unpack in today's market. Holy shimolies, we are heating up. We are getting frothy. We're getting saucy. We're getting nasty. There's all sorts of fun things that are going on in the market. It felt very COVID-y for a hot second today in the morning. And the speculation is back, all right? Even though the QQQs finished flat on the day, we had a gangbusters day in the IWM, which is propelling many names to start picking up some steam. You haven't seen really a nice 4-day move in the IWM like this in a while. Dude, what can you say, right? The IWC, this is the Russell Microcap Index Fund. You can see, too, here, we came out of this trend line, and, dude, we are on the attack right now. Now, we are on day 3 of the move and starting to trigger some very short-term overbought conditions, but this is what we wanted to see. This is really what we've been waiting for a long time. Everybody that's been complaining about, hey, this is a top-heavy market, it's a market of just magnificent 7, well, bros, you got, and a 7-8% move in IWC, right? You got many percents in the IWM. That's good cheddars right there, right? So speculation is back, and you kind of felt it today, right? You felt it today. So in today's video, let's go over the indexes, and then right after that, I'll give you my game plan. Then right after that, we'll go into the watch list. I still got some nice gems, even though we're getting a little bit overbought. I got some nice gems to go. So let's first check the QQQs. I consider this a little bit of an inside day, a rest day. Would not be surprised to see this thing backfill this a little bit later tomorrow or into the next day. Would not be surprised to see that. We saw finally a little bit of crack in the armor on some of the big caps. Get a dump at the end of the day in the QQQs. You saw, right, NVIDIA roll over here, going from 746 to 713. A little bit of a topping tail here into the upper Bollinger Band, right? So just letting a little bit of the wind out of the sails. Look, it still finished green on the day, but that's what you want to see. Usually these type of kind of pullbacks, when you need a stock, when you have a stock that needs a pullback, it's not always like a one-off event. There's like little chinks in the armor, and then you slowly start to do it, and then whoosh, it comes down. Will that happen with the video? We don't know, but I'm starting to watch some of these big caps, right? We want to see this rotation because we saw a little bit of, right, SMCI bleed off 60 points at one point, right? Similar type of candle here. Now, look, it still finished up 5% on the day. So it's still been acting bullish, but we are getting a little bit long in the tooth. And these are kind of two names that we'll have to watch the price action very closely tomorrow. We may finally get a little bit of a crack. You can see the 9 EMAs at 665 on this, so 100 points away. I mean, that's good. Now, look, 100 points away, when you think in absolute terms like that, it seems like it's so much. But if this was a $7 stock and the 9 EMA was at $6.60, you wouldn't think anything of it, right? So let's, always be a little bit rational and use a little bit of common sense. I think my plan for tomorrow, let's see if we can get, at least on some of these big names, let's see if we can shove up a little bit, suck in some buyers, and then maybe fizzle out later. We don't know if that's the case here. We've got some news and stuff that'll be going on tomorrow that may impact the markets a little bit, but we're setting up for that kind of, move. So let's see. Let's take just a look here, see if we got anything in the news and economic data here. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see if we got anything for tomorrow, the 13th. This is all Benzinga. It's just free, but you can, it'll do the job for you guys. Real earnings, OPEC, junk, and then this will be, right, this will be the mamma jamma here. So, right, we'll see if this is, we'll see if this does anything. Now, CPI, guys, is not as important as it was. It's not as important as it was 6 months ago. If the market gaps down big on the CPI numbers, it probably gets bought up, my guess is. If we get a huge spike up, though, because it comes in the way it's supposed to and everybody gets excited and you kind of refroth, then I actually think we try to look for a rollover in some of the selective mega caps. There's all sorts of mid caps that are still going. So let's take a look at some of those bad boys here real quick. So we've got, I'm going to go in, obviously we saw an amazing move in ARM. Fuck. I had this at the open, then I had this on the damn wick down here, then I had it over here. I kept selling early. I scaled out pretty good, but I think my last sales was a fucking 134, man. I had here, adding, and dude, sometimes these things, this was, to me, this felt like a little bit of a blow-off in semis. Felt a little bit blow-offy in the semis. It had an awesome rebound, later into the day, a little bit of a rescue, but we'll keep an eye on this as a tell for speculation, but I think this is going to be in play tomorrow. We want to definitely keep an eye on it. CLSK up 14%. Bitcoin right now is at 50,200. Let's see if we get a blow off on that. I use Beto as my, you can just use Beto. You can see here, you're right at resistance here. Maybe this is a little too toppy. Let's see how we react around 50,000. Maybe an over-under on that. Probably we can take down CLSK, maybe even a little bit of Mara if we can get this thing near 30, 31, somewhere in this zone. I think would be, dude, that'd be a hot little counter trend short for maybe the day, guys. The trends on this and the volume and all that is still reading pretty good, but let's see what's going on. Setting, I've been putting these solar stocks on the watch list for quite some time. I think this thing is still just getting started, right? It just broke over the 50-day moving average, up 7% today. It is, slightly overbought, but it's not extended. It's over. You can be overbought, but not extended. You just broke over the 50-day moving average. I think that one looks fantastic. Twist, this is a swing trade. We've been putting this on the list for a few days. This triggered today as you broke over this at 38. If you get any kind of tap back to retest this, I think this swing trade is still valid. Love the look on this. It could run for a week or two. ENPH, it got stalled out at the 200-day moving average. Guys, this setup has been working so well. You get a push on earnings. You get an inside day, under that earnings level. And then you take it out and you get these huge explosions. That's what happened on ARM, right? You have the earnings day. Then you got a narrow range inside day. And then when you take that out, right, you get this explosion. Learn this setups. I have an inside day scan, but you can do this manually by just flipping through stocks. You can do all this kind of stuff, man. But this has got a good look to it. Love the look on AOI. It got pushed a little bit early in the morning, and then it retested, and you had pretty good range on this, about 2 points on 20. I think this one has still got a lot of juice with the IWM picking up some steam. SMCI, I'm finally starting. I haven't tried to short this at all, but I think finally, if we get a little failed follow-through, kind of, thrust through this, I'm going to look for a little fizzle out on this finally. All right? Trade small size. Watch your risk on this. Same thing with NVIDIA. Let's see if we kind of push through and then fizzle out. We got a little bit of a topping tail today, so a lower high or a double top, something along that end would be awesome. If it gaps down, down over here, something, then it's just a leave alone. That's fine. Like, we don't have to be in everything. That's okay. SQ, 70. Guys, keep an eye on this 70 spot. That's going to be a trigger right here. I think it could be tomorrow, could be the day. If it breaks 70, you're going to 71. And then if it, obviously breaks 71, then you got a lot more upside on this bad boy. You don't got earnings for about 10 more days. Looks pretty good. Old Palantir, the GOAT, dude, red to green, nice pop. You got a couple, a little bit of a base here around the 25 spot. Let's see how it reacts around there. This may have actually some additional, if it has a weak open here, like if we can kind of, retest around the 23, 80, 24 range, let's try to see if we can flip this thing back long into the top of this. It's been a sick trader. GEH, this is General Electric Health Technologies. This is an earnings push right here. Love the look on it. You get an earnings push, consolidation, 1 inside day, 2 inside day, 3 inside day. Starting to just play a little peekaboo. Just playing a little peekaboo over those highs, right? We call that, in Michigan, prairie dogging. Just doing a little prairie dogging over the highs. Watch that 83 mark. If it goes, then, we probably got, I don't know, maybe 3-4 points of upside for intraday. And then we'll see what's up. PayPal, I had this on the watch list yesterday. This setup has been working. So you break down on earnings and then, boom, you rebound and come back up. The market is so hot that people are looking at this weakness as just an opportunity to buy. Look at PLCE today, right? You gap down on this nasty news, and then boom, right? Reverse. It's just been happening all over the place. So I think PayPal is still in play. I got Elon here for potential. I'm looking for a pickup in, a little pickup in volatility on this. Still too slow here, but looking for a little pickup on this. To me, it looks like a swinger. I think General Motors also looks like a swinger. You got to do the calls on this probably. They'll move a little bit better. It only moves about 3% a day. But it's got a nice look on this thing. It really does. This is the classic earnings breakout. You want to do it with lower float stocks, ideally, or stocks that have like a theme out, like AI, semiconductors. But this will work too. It'll work too. It won't be a sexy McGee, but it's gonna do the job that you need it to. Disney. After the earnings, you got a rest day again. I think this is prime time for tomorrow. Let's hope we get a week open. It had a nice red to green today, 3 points. Let's try to do that thing again on this. I think it's going to have a chance. And then same thing with net, right? After the earnings push, just a very narrow range day, right? 105. It went from 105 to 109. This stock has a $6 ATR. Man, it just sat in this tiny range for really a long period of time. Usually when you have an earnings out, the ATR will expand, and this one kind of despanded, if that's the fucking proper terminology. But this has got a good look to it. Let's keep an eye on this too. I want you to just have a couple caveats. All this, the IWM, if it gaps up tomorrow, probably for a quick counter trend trade, we'll need to take it down because you're on. If you gap up on a day 4, you're already triggering a kind of 96 stochastic. You're pretty overbought on this top of the Bollinger Band. I think if you gap up into the zone like 205, we take it down for a day trade. Maybe not a long day trade, for an hour. 2 hours. Let it drop down. It'll use up its ATR, which is about 3.64, and then it'll probably just grind its way back. That's what's been happening, all over the place of recent. On anytime you try to short something, it uses the ATR, and then it just grinds its way back. So it'd be a quick trade, but the overall longer-term look of this is so bullish. The shorter-term look, hey, if we gap up, then, we take these piggies down. That's our job, at least for a little bit, right? And then we'll, let it pull back for a day or two, and then we can kind of work it out. So let's be mindful. I think UPSD has earnings out tomorrow. There's a whole host of other stocks that still have not announced earnings, so we'll have some quesos with that too. Guys, trade well. I thought today was a clean day. And, today, yesterday, Friday, they were clean days because you're kind of in the beginning of a move. When you're on day 1, day 2 of a move, they're very clean. As you get into day 4, day 5, the chance of shakeouts increase. The chance of false patterns increases. So you just got to be super mindful of all that. And, we're getting into that spot. So as you do that, the rugs can pull a little bit faster. Your flag patterns, VWAPs, support. You can break under, break back over. You get more fugazis. All this kind of stuff happens when you get a little bit extended. So be careful tomorrow. Let's do the Lord's work. I see everybody in the boom boom room. Peace.